sorry, it's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed, children being killed.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
They are only allowing, they are not allowing the blacks to get on board. So if you're black and then you go there, you're wasting your time. So we didn't even like bother ourselves. We just went to pick a bus and then headed to this place.
Yeah, because usually there were black people that were already there that were turning around, looking for the borders and other routes because they stood there for a long time and they were not getting on the train because they were stopping them. So they were warning us not to even try to go there.
But wait a minute. Oh, what? Only because they have blonde hair and blue eyes that you care that they're being killed? What about everybody else? Hey, yo, what's poppin', y'all? I'm Ace.
Hi, and I'm Star. If you guys enjoy the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
I bet. Let's get into it. Alright, so we got another one from aba&preach. This is a topic that we've been wanting to talk about. You know, there's been some rumors about, you know, Ukraine maybe barring certain African immigrants or African residents from leaving the country, you know, while Russia's attacking it, and they've been either detaining them or letting native-born Ukrainians go first. So is the rumor, right? Some people have been posting videos. Some people have been saying, them videos old, them videos not from there. Some people saying, oh, well, they are keeping people in line based on normal, like, refugee practices for going into other countries, like apply for asylum or whatever like that. I'll apply for political asylum. And so that process just takes long, and so people are just on the line because that's what it is. Some people saying the Ukrainians giving them food and water. Some people saying they beating them up and dragging them off of buses. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. So let's see what aba&preach has to say about it. And they got, you know, some news clippings in here, so we'll see what they say.
Today's topic.
Hey guys, there's a couple of clips going viral from news coverage of the war in Ukraine, and the reason so many people I think are watching and reacting to them is because they really seem to give up the game on something really central to the media's coverage of Ukraine. Namely, why are they so deeply concerned for the victims of this particular crisis, in contrast to the indifference or outright contempt displayed for the victims of any myriad of other crises around the world? Let's take a look.
Now with the...
Alright, well, first of all, lady, let's not act like we got, like, blinders on our eyes in years, fam. The Russians taking over countries is not something that you could just... That is just a normal, like, humanitarian crisis. Like, aside from the fact that they're killing people and messing up Ukraine, that type of aggression is Hitler type of aggression. Let me march across Europe and take over country after country. Does anybody feel like they want him to go to another country after Ukraine?
Absolutely.
No. That's what the start of World War III looks like. So it's like, of course...
You invade one country, you might invade the next.
Right. So of course people are going to be a little bit more distressed about this one than the other one. You know, the country with the second most nuclear weapons. Like, what are you talking about? Come on. Let's act like you got a brain, lady.
Who is a former KGB.
Right. Like, let's act like you got a brain, lady. Come on.
The Russians marching in, it's changed the calculus entirely. Tens of thousands of people have tried to flee the city. There will be many more. People are hiding out in bomb shelters. But this isn't a place, with all due respect, you know, like Iraq or Afghanistan, that has seen conflict raging for decades. You know, this is a relatively civilized...
Really, nigga?
Relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen.
That was you choosing carefully, and you still fucked up.
Right, right. I was just about to say that. I'm like, that sounded racist as hell. It's just like, it's like, as in, basically he was saying they're relatively, there's no conflict there, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, as in there's more European, as in they're more civilized, as in saying that being European is what it means to be civilized, and if you have conflict in your country, that means you're not civilized. And there are a whole lot of countries, like African countries or other types of countries, that have a lot of conflict in them, and then basically by saying that, he's making a parallel between having conflict in your country and being civilized. Mm-hmm. I wonder if this meant, weren't we just watching Vikings?
Yeah.
Is this man an asshole? Like, go back 1,000 years and look what your ancestors was doing in Europe. Stop playing with me. Y'all was out here chopping each other into pieces.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden someplace else got some conflict and they're uncivilized?
Medieval times, all of it. Like, y'all just been...
Country with the most sweeping slave trade in the history of the world?
Romans, Catholics.
Don't tell me that all of a sudden that Europe is the most civilized place on earth. Like, as far as anyway, let me not say no stupid shit. Back it up.
History, y'all.
You still fucked up. That was you. That was you.
It was him trying to hide his racism, and it didn't slide.
How am I gonna be able to say it that it sounds good? And that's the best you could come up with. I'm sorry. Carry on.
Sometimes when I hear people say civilized, like, what did you think Libya was before foreign intervention?
Civilized.
Brown.
What did you think Iraq was before foreign intervention? Syria.
Brown again.
Right? Like, you guys are out here.
People can say whatever they want about what Saddam Hussein was doing.
Mm-hmm.
One thing they had in that motherfucker was order. Right? Places are goddamn ruined now.
Yeah.
Destroyed. At least they had order. If they were doing wrong shit, the place wasn't a fucking clusterfuck.
Mm-hmm.
Alright? After we went in there, what is it?
Ruined.
A clusterfuck.
Yep.
It's destroyed forever. No government shitty. Like, stop it, man. Come on.
Funding rebels, just doing you guys are inserting yourselves in other people's territories, right? Like, if you think about it, what the U.S. has done to a bunch of countries, either be it in Africa or the Middle East, is exactly what Russia is doing in Ukraine.
Yeah.
But I do find it...
Keep it a stack, Abba. That's what I'm saying. Yo, it's like you act like y'all ain't never seen this before, though. Like,
I'm gonna sip my tea.
Difference is the country they're doing it to is white, and therefore people, the vast majority of the Europeans and the greater West cares that something's happening there. You go into brown countries, you accuse them of being terrorists, accusing them of having this and that. We'll blow it up. It'll be fine, right?
Look at me.
They look at me.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure.
Huh? Fuck out of here.
Say that again to my face.
Fuck out of here, boy.
Very distasteful when people say civilized. It's like, bitch, you think Europe is the only place with civilization?
Yeah.
Right.
Just because these civilizations don't look like the ones that are familiar to you, my American friend, it does not mean that they are not civilized places. I don't even think it's because they look like it. I think that's just like stuff they say to drum up sympathy from the people. This is all about money. It always is about money.
Fair.
If you really think that these rich people are like, I want to save poor white people, you are bugging.
Never. Right. They don't want to see
Right?
no poor
So at the end of the
nothing.
day,
when they're up, they go get the black kids.
yeah, this is just their opportunity to go up against Russia. That's their thing. So they'll drum up any sympathy story that they can.
I see what
It's like this kind of rhetoric makes me cringe so hard. And one other thing is like America almost lost its mind because they felt like Russians were meddling in their elections. It's like, bitch, you meddle in everybody else's elections.
Yep.
American will literally just...
Yeah, but fuck them Russians, bro. Fuck out of here. Like, stay out of our fucking shit. Like, yes, we lost our minds about it, but that shit did happen. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a fucking problem. Anyone who runs a civilized country, if someone who's not in your country interferes with your election, you're gonna have a fucking problem. So, like, that's not necessarily a knock against America for having a fucking problem with that. Like, it's not like we blame the Russians for that and we're tilting at windmills like fucking George Bush and seeing nuclear weapons in trees. Like, no. That shit really happened. So, of course, we were upset about it.
Yep.
assassinate other people's presidents.
Facts.
Okay? This is not hearsay. These are documents you can look up online. That's known. They will meddle in everybody else's elections, choose the leaders that are most convenient
America
to them,
has done that for the last
but then have a
100
completely
years.
different standard. And what it really comes down to is how they paint these narratives. As long as it's conducive to the agenda of the folks who got the power, they'll paint whatever narrative.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed, children being killed
Hey, boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
every day with Putin's missiles.
So
I seen white people getting killed, so it gets to me.
Right. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, what? Only because they have blonde hair and blue eyes that you care that they're being killed? What about everybody else? You saw. Basically, he said the same thing that reporter just said. He just didn't hide it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, I only care when this happens to white folks. Oh, they killing niggas over here? That's what's supposed to happen, right? They're uncivilized. Boy, let me slap the dust off the top of your head, boy. Keep playing.
That's what it is. That's what he said. That's what he said. He said white. The blue-eyed, and
they say that shit
sounds very familiar. I think, what's his name?
Like, we ain't gonna speed past that. Like,
Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Like, you didn't just say what you just said. Like, what?
Who said that? Yeah, Voldemort.
Now the unthinkable has happened to them.
He said, who said that? Voldemort. Right? Nigga Voldemort like, oh, we're killing good witches? Losing their lives?
Oh, they're killing muggles?
Behind muggles?
Okay. That's okay.
Oh, what muggles supposed to kill each other? They're uncivilized, non-magic having... Yo. Oh, shit. What?
And this is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
Yo, tell me with this.
Wow. So that's the news that's been going around over there, huh?
Oh. Nah, I'm not gonna lie. aba&preach be hitting with this shit. Cause this setting up the hella context for y'all niggas denying motherfuckers from escaping. So that's very interesting to me. It's like, oh, this is Europe. What the fuck is this bitch talking about? Ain't the only 2 world wars we ever had were fought in Europe? What are you talking about? What is she talking about? Didn't Napoleon try to take over the whole of Europe, march his ass across this motherfucker, then back into Russia? What are these people saying?
My blood is boiling. Like,
boy, it's like some of these people they have real jobs to get on TV and give people information they've never picked up a history book. It's like, are you kidding?
Never knew color made you identify, or lack of,
civilization.
Made you identify with civilization, human beings, and, morals that,
anything like that.
No,
she said this is Europe, where we kill each other, guillotine people, and trade slaves. Fuck is you talking about, boy? Shut your ass up.
They talk like Ukraine is like this advanced society. It's like, bitch, Ukraine is poorer than half of the countries in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not special. It's not because it's white that it's right. Okay?
It's not because it's white that it's rich, too.
There you go. It's not because it's Europe that's rich. Y'all got a bunch of poor, well-off countries over there, too.
Y'all really think that all the countries in Africa have kids with flies.
Most of them got higher GDPs than Ukraine. Like, get the fuck up out of here, bro.
Don't fuck with a bunch.
No.
There's a bunch of these.
Me, I know there's a bunch of poor white countries because I like visiting them. I have money now to go over there and be like, poor white maid, give me my food. I'll go.
Oh my God. No, he didn't. Yo, no, he didn't.
Smoked. Oh my God.
Okay.
Smoked. Well.
Okay.
Well. Hey, well, I mean, well, it is what it is, nigga.
Listen, everything's amazing when you got money.
Listen,
I be kicking up my foot. Give me the nicest suite you got. I now know what it feels like to be an expat in Africa.
Right.
It feels good, bruh.
Stop.
Right.
Okay.
To be a white motherfucker that went to
Come on,
Africa.
get the fuck out of here.
This is Europe, civilized, blonde-haired, blue eyes. In case you didn't get it, an op-ed in the Telegraph wants to make it even more clear for you, writing, quote, "They seem so like us. That is what makes it so shocking. Ukraine is a European country. Its people watch Netflix and have Instagram accounts, vote in free elections, and have uncensored newspapers."
And nowhere else does?
First of all, whoever wrote that should be slapped in the mouth.
Nowhere
because
else does.
What? So no African countries have that? What are you talking about, bro? How you think they doing them TikToks in Africa, bro? With the African voice.
I hate
how do you think they do that?
Portray Africa as such a dirt poor country when there's cities with tall buildings, rich people there. Like, are you kidding me?
Billionaires live there, boy. Niggas constantly film the middle of the Sahara Desert and be like, yeah, this is Africa. Like, yo, fucking stop, bro. You find the poorest niggas ever and go, and this really? Okay.
Every country has its slums.
Right.
And every country has its big cities.
There's some places in New Orleans, places in New York, places in Cali that look like, oh man, look like fucking the Book of Eli. Like, don't be out here acting like other places are the only places that don't have shitholes. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Jesus Christ, bro.
War is no longer something visited upon impoverished and remote populations. It can happen to anyone.
She said it can happen to anyone. But see, the thing is that most of the time, the people visiting the war upon the people are these powerful Western or Eastern, in this case, countries. Yep. You're the one visiting it on the people, and then you're shocked when war comes to you? What do you mean? And again, it's like y'all don't remember
majority are you the ones that doing the war? Who's starting the war? So what the fuck?
The World War I, that was all Europe. World War II, all Europe, basically. Fucking the Korean War, who started it? Who went over there to go fight? Us. They didn't come over here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Who the fuck?
Yeah, that's
the
right.
Vietnam War, who went over there? They didn't come over here.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, what are the fuck are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? Fucking the first Gulf War, the second one? Who went over? They didn't come over here. Niggas want to say, oh, well, they bombed the towers. Then you should have went to Saudi Arabia, where most of the hijackers came from. Yeah. Not Iraq, where they didn't find any nuclear weapons. It's like, who went to Libya? Even though Obama was president then. Who went to Libya? Us. We went over there to interfere with them. So, like, they're talking about, like, war is something that's visited on other countries like it's a amorphous, like, celestial force that's visiting this shit upon them. It's you! You the same ones doing it!
Well, they gotta paint the
narrative somehow. I know, but it's just like, bro, what are you talking about?
And make the agenda for themselves look good and appealing to the other people. So
it only look good to racist motherfuckers and people without brains. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I can see you doing it, and we've been seeing you doing it. With your Iran-Contra, Oliver North bullshit, interfering with people's governments and shit. Like, we know you do that. It's like, just because you want to act like America is the most fucking, like, the most pristine and the most innocent place on earth, we know better. We see you. We can see you.
But the thing is, majority of the country, where do most of the people, like, it's mostly poor people, so they have to make it appealing. These people...
It's mostly poor people here, too.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. They're pushing their agenda to make it sound good to the people who don't understand. Right. So, of course, it's...
They tell a great story. Right. A great emotional story.
Right. So, it's just for them.
Seemingly a bunch of different ways of trying to say, oh my God, they're killing white people. Now, these reporters and analysts clearly expect that the white American and European majorities will care more about the humanity of these particular victims because we share similar levels of melanin. And that is certainly part of what's going on here. After all, you do see some countries right now opening their arms to the white refugees of the Ukraine war while closing their doors to those from Africa and the Middle East.
Well, I want to speak on that. If you guys haven't seen some of the videos and some of this stuff, basically, students, African students who were studying in Ukraine were trying to leave.
Eat me up, Abba!
To Poland, and they were not allowed on the trains. It had to be the white Ukrainian men who were to leave before the black folks could leave. Even the black women were not allowed to leave with other women and elderly people who were on some of the first trains.
There was someone who I was talking to here earlier who tried to get on the train and wasn't allowed to get on the train.
They are only allowing, they are not allowing the blacks to get on board. So if you're black and then you go there, you're wasting your time. So we didn't even bother ourselves. We just went to pick a bus and then headed to this place.
Yeah, because usually there were black people that were already there that were turning around, looking for the borders and other routes because they stood there for a long time and they were not getting on the train because they were stopping them. So they were warning us not to even try to go there because
see now, here's that real bullshit. Because now somebody's gonna tell me, oh, it's fake. It's fake. Is it? It's CNN interviewing these niggas live. What are you talking about?
Legit people who are there.
Students. They didn't bring this motherfucker to like the CNN spot to ask him questions. Nah, they in the street with him right now. They waiting now.
And even if they did, I bet you he would have turned that offer down. Like, I ain't going to pay for this.
Let me tell you something, bro. Let these white motherfuckers do some shit like this to me. I'm telling on everybody. Take me everywhere to tell on everybody. This is crazy. We fleeing a war. Why are they gotta get out first? Why? Whoever get there first has to escape? Their lives are worth more than our lives. We gotta stay here and die to Vladimir Putin's dog shit. While what? While y'all escape because what? You white? You special?
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Hey, suck my y'all out here bugging out.
What's bothersome to me is that black people, we are the most welcoming. Whenever you go to our country, whenever we're accepting of others, but yet others aren't accepting of us. You go to our country, Africa, or any, area, and you become you become part of the people. And it's just like every single time you turn around, this is the situation that we have where we're turned away, shunned, and it's just like
they had that bullshit a few years ago, like maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think it was something in France or something like that, where they was wilding on the African immigrants over there. It's like, man, these Europeans can get the fuck out of here.
And
with
I bet
bullshit.
Black people are the first people to help you fight. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Right. Like, I live in Ukraine too. We ready to shake? Oh, nah, fuck.
Let's go.
It's no. It's fuck y'all. You gotta stay here and die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That is why we didn't go for the train and try to find another route.
And how does that make you feel to hear things like that?
I don't know, man. It's just
A black woman is seen being denied boarding onto a train believed to be evacuating civilians in Ukraine away from the advance of Russia from the east. No verbal reason is given for the denial, but moments later, a white woman is allowed to board the same train.
So there's a lot of issues in that regards. Even some of the Africans who decide, like, listen, we're not going to wait for a train, we're going to literally walk to the border. They get to the border, and the Ukrainian Border Patrol folks are like, no, you need to go back. We're only letting the Ukrainians in first. So a lot of folks are basically being denied, treating as second-class citizens, even though they were supposed to be granted the opportunity to leave. Now, in defense of Poland, what people are saying once they arrive in Poland, including the Africans, is that once we got in Warsaw, we were super well treated and taken care of. So it does not appear to be an issue with the Polish government. This seems to be an issue of the Ukrainian Border Patrol themselves. So that's both sides of it.
That's even worse, because it'd be one thing if Poland or Romania or any of the bordering countries were like, we don't want nobody coming in here, period. We don't like. I mean, that's facts. It's your right to stop refugees from coming if you don't want them all in your country for whatever reason. Even though that's kind of fucked up, but like it is what it is. America does it all the time.
Yeah.
Mexicans running from the cartel now. We be denying them. It is what it is sometimes. But like, why is the Ukrainians, who themselves about to have to run away, are stopping other people from inside your shit from running away? Like, what is the logic there?
I struggle with this thing. I struggle with this topic. I struggle with the news coverage and like how incessant it is. The people who want us to get on top of it and feel like I need to do it. Meanwhile, it's like I told you this before. I have a hard time enthusiastically defending folks who would treat me like third-class citizens when shit hits the fan.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. He hit the nail on the coffin. Absolutely.
It's like
major problem.
It's like if I would have went to your country and you'd have called me the N-word and treat me like dirt. It's just like if somebody comes into your country and starts shooting missiles at your buildings, you'll find it really hard to be real sad about that.
Like, you want me to jump all over this, but when shit hits the fan, you be like, bitch, we putting ourselves on the train.
Yeah.
Right? When shit, I have a hard time. That's all I'm saying.
Very hard time.
That's all I'm saying.
Very hard time.
Right? So it's easy to sit here and say, we should all love each other, we should all do this, but I got to stay on the back train with everybody else while you guys get on first and your lives matter more.
I don't even get on the train.
Right? The whole lives matter, you realize that's not true.
Right.
It's not true.
Gotcha, bitch.
It never was true.
You can say it's not true at all. It's not. You remember All Lives Matter? What happened?
Yo, I love how you made sure to bring that up in here. Boy, hey, just bring out All Lives Matter for execution, because that was never facts, and we watching it happen live. It's like, it's almost like all that stuff them black people told y'all about how you say all lives matter, but y'all don't enforce that, and that's why we have to say Black Lives Matter. Watch it happen. It's happening live on CNN. It's not even in America. Ukraine never kept any slaves.
Nah.
They act
That's the crazy part,
right?
bro.
Ukraine never kept any slaves. They act like that here. They just don't tell it to you.
Right.
No, as soon as that fucking first rocket came in, what is that? You're marching.
Yeah.
So
where's the all lives now?
Yay.
Where's the, you guys sounding mad silence right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And also, again, I've been fair. I've also said that when those folks arrived in Poland, they were super well treated by the Polish people. So I'm not trying to paint a wide brush. But
it just really depicts you how life is. How people have different classes depending on where you are. You know what I mean?
Or
it goes like that everywhere. People are seen differently depending on how they are, who they are, the skin color. It was really a representation of how the world views people, you know. So I'm talking about in a war situation way. Don't talk to me about but they're getting. That's not what I'm talking about. In a war situation, they got to stay behind and they got to kill people. All right. So white, woman, kids, black men, the rest. Khalas.
Yeah, even some Indian students were also stranded, not allowed to cross the border.
Everybody that was not white was stranded.
Exactly.
If you're not white or Ukrainian, it was just
it wasn't just the black people. All colored motherfuckers they held back. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, you know what? Sucks to be you, love to be me. I hop on the train, you stay there. It is what it is. I mean, that's the thing is that it's really hard for me to be like, okay, so and be very passionate and not laugh at it because it's some shit that we've been known. It's some shit that we've been saying. People have been saying, no, it's not really like that. You guys are, but now it's happening in front of you, and you're like, man, it's just what I said it was. So it's really hard for me to not care, but care. It's hard for me to care because it's been like that. And you know when you're exposed to something that's my next point. When you're exposed to something so much, it desensitizes you at some point. You know what I mean? Like we've been seeing people from brown countries getting shot, getting this and that and whatever. The first time you see a school shooter, you're like, oh my God, it got to be. I remember the first time I heard about school shootings. I don't remember the 399 other ones. Know what I mean? Columbine, that was messed up. After that, so people are really like, oh yeah, whatever, Syrians getting shot, whatever. White people. Oh my God.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's humans.
This is tragic. Oh my God.
Right. And all black people are just like,
right?
Miss me with that shit. Fucking miss me. Look, fuck out of here.
So, man. Potatoes. It is what it is. It's been happening in the world. It's just that I see humans. I'm like, it's
just another war, right?
Motherfuckers are suffering, but I can't really necessarily always talk about this subject.
It makes me feel a little bit salty, you know, because it's like, oh, these people are victims that you guys are finding worthy. This is something that you guys find appalling. This invasion, but when y'all were doing these invasions, you guys didn't have the same energy,
right?
Really
No.
Because they're part of the bad guys. That's
she's
why.
right. I have to fight myself to not turn apathetic to what I'm seeing on the news right now because I understand there are people on the other end suffering, even if their border patrol has been racist or whatever it might be. I have to let that not turn me into somebody who's like, well, then fuck off. I have to do that work. Okay? Right? Because it's very easy to give into that emotion. It's not, I'll tell you, I got a lot of black folks I know who are like, oh, that's what they do to Africans? Fuck.
Ain't no lie there.
It's mad black people out here like, yeah.
Oh, alright.
Right, I'm like, that's how y'all feel? We didn't ask you for nothing but the opportunity to run away. And you telling me that we can't even do that? Y'all real wild for this. Real wild.
It's just, I can't fathom just like, they're just in their country, minding their business, living their lives, studying. These are students.
Right.
Being peaceful in Ukraine. But when push comes to shove, a war comes, they gotta stay? Like, are you kidding me? What have we done that's so atrocious that we need to sit here and die for y'all to live? Like,
right. Like, what have we done that our lives are worth less than your lives? Like, what is that? Like, could you imagine that this country wants to be part of NATO acting like that? Like, what are you talking about, bro? You better go back and join Russia and be part of the Soviet Union.
Right.
You want to fuck around and act like this? Like, what's wrong with you?
Trap her off with Putin.
If you're not from our country, your life doesn't matter. That's exactly how the Russians are treating you, you fucking morons. Get out of here.
Wait.
Oh, the 5-figure point.
Man, fuck that whole continent, nigga. I have to remind myself that, right? But it becomes difficult when you constantly see just these images. And meanwhile, like she said, like I've been following what's been happening in Yemen. That shit is tragic. It is a far worse, and by a far worse power in a lot of ways than Russia, to me. So, this is my thing. I know this for a fact. When shit generally hits the fan, if you're not super well integrated to that community to the point where you guys are symbiotic, listen, tribalism kicks in like this.
Real quick.
Tribalism kicks in like this. Along family lines, along racial lines, along ethnic lines, along nationality lines. Who's a refugee, who's not. Even the way that they talk about these refugees, they're like, well, these refugees are different. They look like us, they sound like us, so we can accept them. Like, the news coverage has been creepy like that.
Yeah.
So
if this shit happens in Quebec, you think the English people are not gonna go back of the bus?
Yeah.
This is Quebecer town right here.
Yeah, I already know it's gonna be.
You know it's gonna be a fight to get on the plane.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, but the Anglos was well now they're a minority in Quebec and they're eating shit. Yes. The history, yes, in the history, y'all been treating like shit by Anglos. Yeah. Absolutely. I give you that. But now they're in minority, and if this shit hits the fan here, they're not getting on the train. So who's getting on the train if this shit hits Canada?
Yeah.
That's really the question.
That's the personal struggle I have. But I think if you ask me on a principle
I tell you what, though,
standpoint,
in America, even though white people gonna get on the train first, shit, motherfucker, there's a whole lot of us. And we fight real good, bro. I don't know, yeah. Shit, we rushing that train, boy. Or at least, like, maybe they'll try to do that bullshit. It might work in East Bumblefuck, Texas, right? You try that shit in Houston, they mobbing you.
Fight back, nigga! Fight back, nigga! Fight back!
They overrunning that. They running over that.
of course, I think what's happening is terrible. People's homes are being eradicated. People's country and national identities are trying to be stripped from them. Like, I understand all these things are terrible. So in that regards, I obviously sympathize. Obviously. But there's that struggle on the other side. And unfortunately, that's a very thing that's real for me. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it's simply hard to care about it. But it's just like, you know, care about that people are being hurt and stuff like that. But it's hard to put, you know, a lot of your personal energy into it. Right. When let that same thing happen to people who look like us, and it's just like, they're this, they're that, they're the other thing. It's like,
we're the bottom of the hole.
Well, don't ask me for help. I don't want to hear it.
All right.
All right, that's it for this one. We'll holla at you.
Bye.